Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're looking at AI-powered customer service.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's really fascinating stuff. I mean, you're here because you want to know what's next for businesses, right?
Right.
And this is it. Like, this is the leading edge. So we've been looking at some material from Freshworks,
Okay.
and they work with over 68,000 businesses to kind of improve how they interact with their customers.
Wow, that's a lot of businesses.
It is, it is. So their platform is called Freshchat, and it's got some really interesting features.
I'm intrigued. What kind of features?
Well, one of the things they talk about is what they call channel freedom.
Channel freedom. Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's all about businesses connecting with their customers, wherever those customers are.
Oh, I see. Like not just email and phone calls anymore.
Exactly, yeah. So email's still there, phone calls are still there, but we're also talking like messaging apps,
Right.
live chat on websites, things like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I know I use all sorts of ways to talk to companies now.
Absolutely, and it's what customers expect now, right? That kind of seamless experience.
Right.
So businesses are really starting to get that. And that brings us to another really interesting feature that Freshchat has.
Okay.
So imagine if you could have like AI-powered bots that were answering those basic questions and requests.
Across all those channels.
Yeah, across all those channels, exactly. So instead of a customer having to wait for a human to become available.
They could get help right away.
Exactly. And that's, 24/7. That's their bot-driven support.
That's interesting. It ties into the whole self-service trend that's been growing.
Absolutely.
People want quick answers, and often they'd rather just find those answers themselves.
Yeah, on their own terms when it's convenient for them.
Exactly.
So Freshchat has really been thinking about this, and I think it's a pretty clever solution.
It does sound pretty clever. But what about those times when you really need to talk to a real person?
Yeah, good point. So for that, Freshchat has what they call a unified agent workspace.
Okay, what is that?
So imagine you're a customer service agent, right? And you get a customer question. You've got all the information about that customer right there.
That's handy.
It is, right. So their past purchases, any open issues they have, the whole conversation history.
No more clicking around trying to find every
No
part.
more clicking around, exactly. It's all right there in front of you.
That would make things so much easier for the agent.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it lets them give really personalized support,
Yeah, because they can see the whole picture.
Exactly. If they understand the customer's history and their needs, they can solve problems faster. And probably with more empathy, too, right?
I bet.
So we've talked about being reactive, but then we moved to kind of a proactive approach. But Freshchat actually goes a step further with what they call proactive customer journeys.
Proactive customer journeys. Okay.
It's like predicting what the customer needs before they even ask for it.
Oh, wow. How does that work?
So say, for example, you're browsing an online store and you just can't seem to find what you're looking for.
Yep.
And suddenly, bam, a little chat window pops up
Yeah.
and they're offering help before you've even had to ask.
Oh, that's smart.
It is. It really is. And it's about creating that, that seamless and positive experience so the customer wants to come back for more.
Yeah. It's not just solving problems, it's building relationships.
Yeah.
And loyalty, I bet.
For sure. And, no business strategy is complete without looking at the data right.
Of course not. You've got to know what's working.
Exactly. So Freshchat has these admin and analytics tools built in.
So businesses can actually see how everything's performing.
Exactly. See how productive their team is, how effective the bots are, what the customer behavior patterns are.
And then use all that information to make things even better.
Exactly. Exactly. Because customer expectations are constantly changing.
That's true. What worked yesterday might not work tomorrow.
Absolutely. And businesses need to be able to adapt. Having the right data helps them do that.
So it sounds like Freshchat is a pretty great tool for, chat-based support. But what if a business needs something more comprehensive?
Well, that's where Freshdesk Omni comes in.
Freshdesk Omni.
Yeah, I mean, think of it as like the ultimate customer support powerhouse.
Wow. Okay.
They actually say on their website, and this is a quote, "Great conversations are the heart of customer service, but there's more you can do to unleash productivity."
That's an interesting quote.
It is, right?
Yeah.
So how does Freshdesk Omni take things to that next level?
Well, it goes beyond just chat. It brings together everything a business needs to support its customers.
Like what?
So we're talking ticketing systems, knowledge bases, collaboration tools, all that kind of stuff.
So it's like the one-stop shop for customer service.
Exactly. And they really emphasize the benefits of, consolidation on their website.
What do they say?
They talk about consolidating tools, controlling costs, cutting confusion, and offering superlative support.
Superlative support, I like that.
It's all about streamlining things, making customer service more efficient and effective.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So we've talked about the features, we've talked about the benefits, but have you seen examples of businesses actually using these tools to get results?
Oh, yeah. Freshworks has some great customer stories on their website.
Oh, cool.
And what's really powerful about these stories is that they show how these solutions make a real difference for real businesses and their customers.
Okay, now you got to tell me more. What are some of those success stories?
All right, well, there's this one, Eric Bompus. He's a product manager at Klarna,
Okay.
and he talks about how they used Freshworks APIs to build their own custom chat client.
Wow. Their own chat client. That's impressive.
It is. So they were able to tailor the experience to exactly what they needed.
Interesting.
And then there's Molly Telly, the co-founder of Iba Cosmetics,
Okay.
and they were able to use Freshchat to transition their business.
How do you mean?
They were an offline retail business, and they moved to being an online D2C brand.
Oh, wow. That's a big shift.
It is. And they actually strengthened their relationships with their customers during that process.
That's incredible. It really sounds like these tools are helping businesses adapt, to this changing world.
Absolutely. And connect with their customers in more meaningful ways.
Yeah, exactly.
And these are just a couple of examples. There are lots more out there.
Oh, I bet. So we've seen how these tools can help businesses adapt. But what's really interesting to me? It's thinking about where all of this is going. Like the big picture.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
We're talking about AI.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about proactive service. What does the future of customer service even look like?
That is the question, isn't it? And it's something that everyone's trying to figure out, everyone in the business world anyway.
So what do you think? Like if you had to guess, where are things headed?
Well, I think AI is going to become even more important than it already is. I mean, we're already seeing it with chatbots and things like predictive analytics, but I think that's just the beginning.
So what does that look like? Like in real life?
Huh.
Will we get to a point where we're only interacting with machines?
That's an interesting thought. I mean, AI is definitely going to be able to handle more and more of those, routine tasks, but I don't think the human touch is going to disappear completely.
Why not?
Well, think about it. Things like empathy,
Yeah.
or solving those really complex problems, those nuanced interactions. That's where human agents are still going to be really important.
That makes sense. So it's not about AI replacing humans altogether. It's more like AI handling the basics so the human agents can focus on the stuff that really matters.
Exactly. And it's not just about efficiency either. It's about creating a customer experience that's more personalized, more empathetic.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What are the key takeaways here for anyone listening who wants to kind of stay ahead of the curve when it comes to customer service?
Well, the first thing is don't be afraid to innovate. Embrace those new tools and technologies like the ones we've been talking about today. Experiment with them. See what works for your business.
And remember what we were saying about data.
Right.
You've got to use those analytics to track your progress, figure out what's working, what's not working, and then make changes as you go.
Exactly. It's a process of continuous improvement. But there's something else that's really important too, and that's to never forget the human element.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, at the end of the day, customer service is all about connecting with people, building relationships, creating those positive experiences.
You got it.
So this has been a pretty incredible deep dive. We've talked about so much, like from the features of these AI tools to the bigger picture of what it all means for the future of customer service.
And we've even heard some inspiring stories about, real businesses who are using these solutions and getting great results.
Yeah, but before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something to think about. As AI continues to evolve, what role do you think human interaction is going to play in shaping the future of customer service?
Well, that's a great question. It's definitely something we all need to think about, as we move forward in this crazy and exciting world of customer service.
Because at the end of the day, whether it's AI-powered or human-driven, it's all about creating positive experiences, right? Those experiences that really stick with people.
That's what it's all about, and that will never change.
Yeah, it's really interesting to think about, isn't it? Like, all these possibilities with AI, it's kind of mind-blowing. But I think what you said about the human touch is really important.
It is. I think as businesses are looking at all these new technologies and thinking about how to use them,
Yeah.
it's really key to remember that it's not about getting rid of human interaction altogether.
Right.
It's really about how do we find the right balance
Yeah.
between AI and those human interactions, to create the best possible experience for the customer.
Well said. And I think that's a great point to kind of wrap things up on. We've really explored a lot in this deep dive, and I think one thing's for sure, AI is definitely changing things.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really transforming customer service in some pretty incredible ways.
Yeah, it's been a fascinating deep dive for sure. I mean, we talked about so much, like from self-service and how that's becoming so important
Right.
to, the power of being proactive with those customer journeys.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it all points to like a future where customer service is just much more personalized,
Mm.
much more efficient, and ultimately more human-centered.
Yeah, and I think it's really exciting. Like, who knows what's going to come next?
It's going to be an exciting ride.
It is. It really is. So, to everyone listening, until our next deep dive, keep exploring all this stuff. Keep learning.
Yeah,
And keep those customer interactions, keep them amazing.
absolutely. And, never forget that the best customer experiences are really built on that foundation of empathy, really understanding your customers and having that genuine desire to connect.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
So until next time, see you on the next deep dive.